So it should be clear to everybody that I have acne issues. I always have, ever since I went through adolescence, and it's always been an issue that plagued me, especially because it was just one of those things that added on to the insecurities that everybody goes through when they're growing up as a teenager. So, being that I developed gynecomastia, as we talked about in the previous series, along with the development of horrible acne, definitely these are some of the things that drove me, I think, into bodybuilding in the first place. I think I really had a lot of insecurities and issues with my own image, and I took that to the extreme by getting into bodybuilding, weightlifting, and telling myself that I would be able to. Telling myself that here's one thing that I have control over: the progression of my own physique. I have complete control over that. I don't have complete control over certain things like the development of my gynecomastia, the development of my acne. But here's something where if I put in the work, I will get results. And that really stuck with me, and that really pushed me to do these things, to get into bodybuilding. So getting back to the acne, it developed just as it does for everybody else, when I'm a teenager. And it was not bad at first. It was not that bad. I always wonder if it has something to do with the food I ate. Growing up, I didn't eat very healthy, a lot of fast food. You always wonder, like, could I have done something differently to get a different result? And so I started developing it, and it didn't get really bad until I was about 19, 20 years old. And that's when I started to realize it was a huge issue. So it wasn't just the acne on the face anymore. It was moving down to my neck. And as you can still see, I'll get acne here still. I'll get some pimples. The biggest area where I was worried about it growing was in my chest. So right in the middle of my chest, a lot of people now look at my chest when they see it, and they say, have you had heart surgery, open heart surgery, because of the scarring on my chest? And this is all related to the acne scarring I got. So I feel like it was just an unfortunate coincidence that not only did I get these bad acne flare-ups, but that my skin may be more susceptible to the scarring than other people's. You'll see some people who just have great clear skin, and you always kind of envy that, because you say, wow, you look in the face, and I look in the mirror and I look in my face now, and I realize, and I come to grips with the fact that I'm always going to have these scars. These growing up, you call them craters. You start getting these divots and dips in the skin, and that's not necessarily going to go away. And I think I have to accept that. Some people get acne and their skin is smooth, clear after they go through it. I was not one of those fortunate people. So it got really bad, I said, when I was 19, 20. I started to develop really big cysts full of pus on my chest. And that was just a really bad area because I would sweat there, of course. And I'm not very hairy in this area at all. And so I just found it very interesting that I would, obviously I would bathe on a daily basis, and I would get these really bad, cysts, and they would puff up. If you're looking at the skin, they would puff up, and they get really big. And so what I would do is I would take a warm compress and I would massage it, just like a wet washcloth with warm water, and I would just massage it until it would, pop, and really try to massage all of the oils and the pus out of it. Really disgusting, but it hurt as well. It really hurt. So a combination of that and my gynecomastia was definitely the biggest biggest things that affected me with my image as I started getting into bodybuilding more. So I was developing, again, I started to develop not just acne flare-ups on my neck, but really big, like ping pong size. Like if you took a ping pong ball, you cut it in half, and you stuck that under my skin on my neck, that's what I was getting. And it was hard as a rock, just filled with who knows what. Really painful and just really embarrassing. It's hard because at that point in my life, too, I was getting into personal training. And I started personal training when I was almost right out of high school, 18, 19 years old. And it's hard to be, I guess, accepted by somebody else who is older and looking for a personal trainer, looking for advice. And they look at this guy who looks like he's a teenager with just raging acne. The initial stereotype and thought is, well, this kid doesn't really know much. Why would I want to hire him? So that was a big issue for me because I was getting into the industry, really wanted to have a good impression on people, and I had to really overcome a lot of insecurity issues to make sure I was still able to come across as a human being who was knowledgeable, who went to school for this, who could help you. And so it got to the point where, at one point I remember my fiance, Happy, her sister and her sister's husband are in the medical industry, and so I came home one day and I was like, I had the huge pus-filled sack on my neck, and I wanted to, get rid of it. I just wanted to get rid of it. And so she said, the Happy's sister said, hey, why don't you let me pop it? Stick a needle in it and pop it. Now, I don't like needles at all. I don't know who does. But so that was an interesting situation where, they kind of set me down and kind of warm compress and massaged it a bit, and then at the end of it, they took just like a needle that they sterilized and they stuck it in the neck. They started poking it, and I was freaking out, and I'm shaking and scared as all crap. So it didn't work. It didn't pop it. But that was kind of the turning point. Was like, all right, I need to do something. Something needs to be done. And once again, just as it happened with my gynecomastia, it was really Happy that said, okay, let's find an answer for this. Let's really take the next step to get rid of it. Obviously, we need some kind of medication because you've tried everything.